Do you know who the father of Kaylee?
I do not know with 100%.
Certify. You don't answer that question. Basis is irrelevant to the defamation suit.
Well, the relevance would be, could that person have had something to do with the disappearance?
Again, if you want to go before the judge, you can go before the judge, but I'm certifying the question because, again, I don't think it has any relevance.
You're instructed not to answer.
That's correct.
Lee Anthony, not the father of little Kaylee, may hold the key to the true identity of the little girl's father. Of course, I am taking your calls. Phone lines lighten up. Sandra, Florida, your question or thought, ma'am?
Hi, Jane.
Hey.
I know it's a little late for little Kaylee, but why can't the Florida laws be changed and have these people enforce a lie detector test?
Oh, that's very interesting. Steve Cardian, you're the criminal investigator. Steve. All right, let's go to Darren Kavanaugh on that one.
Yep. Well, on this one, polygraph tests are only admissible in court if both the prosecution and the defense stipulate to their admissibility. So they are still used from time to time.
All right.
Generally speaking, it's the problem relates to the reliability of that evidence.
Exactly. It's not yet admissible in Florida courts because there has been no uniform polygraph test that has been acceptable by all parties and the state legislature.
All right. We've been talking about these rumors swirling about the identity of Kaylee's father. Casey's friend, Melinda Calabrese, told investigators two stories about little Kaylee's dad. At first, Casey told Melinda the father was Jesse Grund, and then her story changed. Quote, it was shortly after her and Jesse broke up in May 2006. She explained to me that it had been a gentleman named Josh. When the detective pressed for details about Josh, Molina said Casey told her he was basically a one-night stand from Georgia. Later in the conversation, the detective asked if Casey ever mentioned what happened to Josh. The response was, quote, Josh passed away in a car accident shortly after little Kaylee's second birthday. Now, what's so shocking about this, it's very similar to another story about a possible father, Jesus Ortiz, an old classmate of Casey's who did actually die in a car accident. The Ortiz family claims Jesus never told them about any possible granddaughter. Dr. Judy, why all this mystery and secrecy surrounding the father?
Well, because she's living in a fantasy land in a lot of different ways. This is a young woman who is not grounded in reality, and she's lost in all her lies about all those men and all the other people who were involved with her little girl's disappearance. And Darren, I have to disagree with you. All these little pieces get put together, and to me, they smell really nasty in terms of what possibly this girl could have done.
Jesse,
well,
Georgia,
you know what, Dr. Judy? Wait, I agree, Dr. Judy, that all of this can look and smell really nasty to you, but that's a far cry from what we've got to deal with in a court of law rather than your opinions, which get to be formed in the court of public opinion. The fact is that we're all relying on a bunch of material that we don't know the jurors will ever get to hear, and this sort of smells to me like a bit of a smear campaign.
I've got to go to Jesse in Georgia. Your question or thoughts, sir?
Yes, I wanted to know what's the most she could be charged with and what's the least she could be charged with.
Well, she's already charged, Jean Casares.
Right, this is a first-degree murder case. It's a capital murder case, so life in prison, life day for day, no possibility of parole. The prosecution can have two theories, one premeditation. The other is felony murder, the commission of a felony, which would be aggravated child abuse, and during the commission of that felony, a killing occurs.
Wow. One of the most shocking lies to come out of all this evidence, Casey canceled a trip to Jacksonville with a friend and Kaylee, using the excuse that her father had a stroke. The friend, Amy Huizenga, told authorities, quote, I text messaged her at about 6 to make sure she was awake. She texted me back. She was on the way to the hospital with her dad and would let me know. I finally heard back from her that her dad had a mini stroke. Guess what? George later confirms this never happened. And Steve Cardian, this was on June 13th, 3 days before authorities believe little Kaylee was killed. What do you make of it?
Jane, it's just one of a long line of deceptive practices that she has done over a period of time that law enforcement is going to focus in and possibly the prosecutors are going to use against her.
Wow. To me, it's just beyond comprehension. Dr. Judy, I think that there's some hostility there when you fantasize that your own dad had a stroke.
Oh, absolutely. But there's anger in all the family. And it's beyond anger, Jane. This is made-up stories that she's living in, the pathological lying. just fits together with a lot of what you've called a psychopath and a drama queen. I'll add that onto it as well.
All right, speaking of drama queens, bounty hunter Leonard Padilla wants to buy the land where little Kaylee's remains were found back in December. He made an offer of $50 grand on this piece of land, told the Orlando Sentinel. He hopes to make a Kaylee memorial on the site. The property owner is asking for $89,000, so you could say Leonard Padilla lowballed them with a $50 grand offer. An attorney for the Homeowners Association says this community absolutely does not want a permanent memorial there. You know, what do you make of this, Steve Cardian? Do you think this guy is out for publicity or money, or is he just obsessed with this case?
In following the case from the beginning, I think that he is out for publicity, Jane.
And so it's worth it, 50 grand, for him to buy this plot, even though the neighbors don't want that? I mean, why shouldn't he give money to a search, for example, to find Haley Cummings, the little girl who is missing 70 miles away? Thomas Luca, wouldn't that be better use of the money?
I agree. I think trying to buy this land is incredibly bad taste. It's going to not only ruin not only be a constant reminder of the Anthonys of this tragedy, but the entire neighborhood. There's just no reason for it.
How does the Anthony family feel about Leonard Padilla?
They are not happy with him in any way or form. He has been, from the beginning, a total publicity hound. He has not looked after the best interests of Kaylee, Casey, or the Anthony family. He's only been out for, they believe, himself.
I want to thank my excellent panel, and please, all of you, come back soon. Switching gears.